Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon again, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. We are going back to that horrible world known as the JRC, but before we do, the usual disclaimers. If you're unfamiliar with the Stop the Shocks campaign or the campaign against the troubled teen industry, you're going to find all the pertinent links right there in the description box. Please, in particular, take note of the article written by NeuroClastic, a small non for profit started by autistics for autistics. In it, they interviewed over 900 ABA professionals in regards to the JRC's so called behavior modification program. The Judge Rotenberg Educational Center doesn't want you to read that article so much. They threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit if they did not remove it from the website. NeuroClastic has refused. You know the drill. Please read the article. Share it on all your social media. Also included in there is NeuroClastic's public statement regards to the defamation lawsuit threat, as well as a link to their GoFundMe. We are crowdfunding just in case the JRC ever does see through with their threat. Trigger warning 1, where we discuss places like the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center and Agape Boarding School for Boys. You're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of people with mental health issues and disabled people being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please use your headphones. Trigger warning 2, this channel is marked not for kids for a reason. We use profanity on occasion and speak on dark subjects. If your child is 16 and younger and they are watching this, very obviously parental supervision is very much advised. So, where we left off, we note that in addition to the relationship among vulnerabilities, non contingent delivery of shocks and psychological risks, non contingent delivery also undermines the effectiveness of the punishment paradigm for ESDs. ESDs are intended to accomplish behavior modification through punishment. And if the Gen X generation can teach you all anything, for the love of God, please get this in particular through your heads. You can't punish the neurodivergence out of us. All right? And the threat of violence will only curb behavior for a period of time. When that threat is removed, guess what happens because you never dealt with the underlying problem in the first place? Not only do the behaviors come back, but now the behaviors are worse because now you have all those wonderful mental health issues that derive from PTSD, among other things that come out to haunt you. And right? Sign me up. Please kill me. Essentially, what it's saying here is the whole model is fucked. Okay? The whole model paradigm of using forms of violence as a means to modify undesired behavior. How'd that work in the 90s, kids? Remember, we were the last generation where corporal punishment was a regular thing. Okay? I would actually say that the threat of violence probably made us even more reckless than what we already were being. It's a defiance thing. Okay? You can't use violence in order to change behavior because it might change for 5 minutes, hell, even 10, 15, but it has no long term effects other than the lingering trauma that it leaves behind on the individual who's been subjected to this bizarre, barbaric insanity. All right? The reason why the medical model has moved away and done away with aversive therapy, at least in the physical sense, is because we all know it doesn't work. There is no long term benefits. You can only get long-term benefits when you begin to dig and understand where these behaviors are coming from and what can be done. Let's read the rest, shall we? All right, so this depends on consistent contingent delivery of shocks. Correspondingly, it also depends on the ability of the individual to associate cause and effect. Here we go with this shit again. Recognize the contingency. I'm going to put this in layman's terms. Just because you folks continue to refuse to learn to communicate in a way that we can both understand, because you continue to press us to doing everything for you and never meeting us in the middle, that is why this idea of incompetence has gone down. And it's annoying, folks, okay? Just because I cannot communicate it to you in a way your neurotypical ass is able to understand does not mean that I don't know what's going on around me. It means I don't know how to communicate to you in a way that you would understand. Okay? At the end of the day, whether they know the reasons why they're getting the shocks or not, it's still wrong. Whether they know the reasons why or not, it's wrong. And it's based on a whole paradigm which has been wrong for decade upon decade upon decade. Okay? It's built off of the back of ABA. The whole idea behind the concept of ABA is to try to force us, by means of repetition and other behavioral techniques, to pretend to be neurotypical well enough that they feel comfortable in our presence. Literally, our entire treatment program from get go, if you're diagnosed early, all has to do with catering to the neurotypical. Okay? Sorry, I'm going to call it what it is. I know I'm kind of going off left turn and doing another left turn, but assume competence with everyone. Okay? Continuing, even in the defense of a band, to use this type of language is how we still end up in these arguments in the first damn place. It's barbaric treatment. Regardless of whatever bullshit reason they write down in order to torture those kids, it's torture whether those kids know the reasons why they're being shocked or not. The problem is you've got young kids, not even fully grown, being shocked multiple times at just below the lethal limit. When we know a police taser that doesn't run near the same amount of electricity through the human body, 3, if I remember the setting correctly, that it can stop the heart out of a fully grown, hyped up on PCP man. Okay? It's wrong. And we gotta stop. But it's even worse if they don't understand why they're getting them. We did not need to drag that ableist bullshit into the final ban, FDA. Okay? Assume competence. And if you're not sure, leave it out. Wow, guess that struck a nerve, folks. I'm gonna go ahead and close out. We don't get very many views on this channel. The few we do get removed from time to time. So, folks, please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe. Don't forget to hit those comments. I appreciate your time. As always, folks, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. I'll see you tomorrow.